We are now live.
Great.
We're in two places at once.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. We're
Hi.
back.
We're back. Yes.
It's
How
been
are
a long
you?
time.
Good to see you Facebook from my phone, and good to see you Instagram from mental coach Briley.
Yes.
Hi, mental coach Briley.
Hi, Sara.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I hear
Good to see you.
you had a good horse show this weekend.
It was great. Yes. After 5 months, it was really nice to be back in the showgrounds. And I took four beautiful horses, and we got some really good results. And especially on Sunday, we finished the show with some very great highlights, and some of the horses did all of the horses did great.
That's awesome.
So I'm really, really proud of them. They were great.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's good to hear. That's really positive. And I mean, I have to ask, and we talked about this a little bit off camera, but did you implement anything that we talked about last week coming
Yes.
into the show this weekend? And if yes, then what
Yes.
did you do? What did you change, I guess?
So we left for the show on Friday. The show was Saturday and Sunday in Houston. And so I tried to practice, at home on whenever we did the last time. I know I practiced all week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, prior to the show. And I was just trying to improve on getting better 1%.
1% every day.
Just 1% every day. Don't expect a huge difference or a huge improvement, but just the little steps, 1 little steps every day.
Yeah.
And so that one actually really helped me a lot.
Glad to hear it.
And being confident, embracing my fear or my anxiety a little bit, of, oh my gosh, I'm going to a show after a long time. I'm taking a young stallion, and and a lot of things, but I was feeling confident, and I was staying in the moment.
That's great.
So it was.
And
really
you think that helped you, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And that, I feel like, obviously that's a pretty quick turnaround. I feel like I talk to a lot of younger athletes, and it's so easy to get frustrated. Like, let's say things didn't go well this weekend. I'm sure that doesn't feel good when you put in all this effort, you make some changes, and then you don't see it right away. But I also think if you really commit to making certain changes, both with your brain and with your behavior, you'll see changes quicker than you expect to sometimes. Yes. It's just a matter of I think you get out what you put in.
Yes.
And clearly you put in a lot of effort, and you made some physically you made choices and changes that positively helped you. So that's good.
And
to
I
hear.
always feel that you have to persevere. Is that a word?
Yeah, absolutely.
Persevere.
Yeah.
Is perseverare. It's a really important thing. And just keep going. And like you were saying, have a pattern, have a routine. Also at the show I had a routine.
Good.
And I was just trying to really stay in the moment. And even in moments where maybe in the past I was getting a little stressed out right before getting on the horse, or in the warm-up, I was surprisingly very relaxed.
Yeah.
I was in the moment, and I was feeling strong.
Good.
So I was very happy.
Good.
Yeah.
That's so good to hear. And I think it just goes to show, like you said, you have to persevere, right? I think I brought this up in a group thing the other night. You have to commit to making those changes.
Yeah.
Even if things don't necessarily work, or you don't get that feeling that you want, or the feeling you think you want, commit to practicing and trusting yourself and your abilities. And I think that will, it may not work for you today, it may not even work for you tomorrow, but weeks, months, years down the line, that's when you're going to see all that payoff. So don't get frustrated if you try something new, or you just learned this new skill, and you've practiced it for maybe a day or two, and you're not seeing any difference. You have to commit to it and persevere, like you said.
Yeah, because a lot of times we want the quick result, I want to have a quick change, but things don't happen like that. We always say things worth having don't come easy.
Yeah.
And so you always have to, you know that you need a change, you need to change something, and then you just have to stick with that change and just be patient. That is the hardest thing, but be patient and continue on that path, and things will come.
Yeah,
Trust
absolutely.
the process, and things will come back. But if we want quick changes or quick results,
Yeah, then I mean, yeah, and if things like that do come really quick to you, then you probably won't hang on to them for very long. I think that's maybe the trade-off. Like if you do see a change really quick, and then you kind of get complacent or lazy, or like you'll lose them just as quick. So like I'd rather like slowly build up and get more and more mental skills, or more of a habit, or a routine, or a pattern, and like have that for life, than like have it one day, get it really quickly, and then it just goes away the next week. Like it's kind of like, I think that's like the whole diet culture, right? Like you try this new diet, you make 10 changes in one day, and then maybe you see the result, or maybe you don't see the result because you thought you put in all this effort and it's supposed to happen to you quickly, but then it makes you give up, and you lose motivation so quickly. And I think that's the kind of like, maybe that's an analogy I
like that. No, that's true. Yeah, you don't see a change immediate and then you say you quit. Right. Instead, maybe the next day you are going to lose a kilogram, or 3 pounds, but you want the quick change, and so then you just quit.
Right.
But the quick change does not happen, and so you just have to
at least not with your brain. Like I don't know, I just don't think it works that way.
No.
But that's why I like, at least the program that I work for, like we have this package where the best offer that you get is getting like 6 sessions, and that's like a session every other week for 3 months. And that's why I think it's like the perfect, like total magic number almost, because and if you want to do every week, you can, like we're totally flexible in that way. But I think if you're trying to make like life changes, or like really big changes in your sport, or like in any, if you're trying to break a habit or form a habit, it just takes time. There's just no 2 ways around. Like you can't get around that. I just don't think you can. So but I'm like, all that being said, I think it's great how you saw, like, even over just a week, or I don't know, was it 5 days or 4 days we talked before you left? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was, we spoke on Sunday. Yeah, I think 4 days.
Yeah, so 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
So hopefully, like, over the next, however many more weeks and months, like, you can keep telling us, like, if you've seen any positive impact in your training, or in your show competition. I don't know when the next one you have is, but
in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I will let you know then.
Yeah. I think that's another good like, benchmark. Like a couple weeks.
Yeah, is probably that's why I'm really excited, because I can, whenever you have shows a little bit closer, to a month, then you can, improve and see the little steps, that you can do going forward, because now I have 2 weeks at home, and then I have another show. And then the same thing. I think I have 2 weeks at home and then another show.
Awesome.
Yeah. So all summer we will be pretty busy, because of this 5 months off has been pretty tough for us equestrians, and I'm sure for a lot of athletes and for everybody in general, of course. But yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Good.
I'm really excited, and I felt like really staying in the moment at the horse show, and not, a lot of times whenever you have not only athletes but everybody in general, whenever they have to perform. You have a lot, your brain can play a lot against you, with the, like preconceptions, or, old patterns, that you fall into, and that just is going to give the result of your performance even before you start. Mm-hmm. While if you just enter and you're relaxed and you're staying in the moment, maybe you have a little of you're a little nervous because you're competing, and but if you're just staying there, especially when you ride a horse, you really you have to stay there, because you have an animal that feels a lot of what you're feeling, and you have to be able to communicate with him in the right way. Instead, if you're stressed out, you're just telling stuff in a stressed out way, so the horse understands that a lot.
Okay.
And so
see, I'm not a horse person, so I don't know these things, which is why I like hearing you talk about that.
They're very big, but they're very sensitive. They're very extremely sensitive, and so they really can feel. But especially because whenever we are, I'm sure in every sport or in everything, if you're nervous, you're going to talk to a person in a way that you're going to make that person a little nervous.
Sure.
If you're relaxed and friendly, you just express, in in a different way, and you put the person comfortable, you know, talking with you. So yeah, we just have to really control our brain, because it can really play against us whenever whenever there's a performance, whenever there's something stressful, whenever we have to perform at our best, you know. So that's your job, so that was great that you helped me.
Well,
I'm
thank
going to
you.
get the package.
Oh yeah, great. I mean, hey, like I mean that's the thing, like I talk about all this stuff. I feel like I repeat myself so much because I do so many different things. I talk to so many different athletes, and I do it like every day. Like I'm so fascinated with how high performing people work, and how to get people who maybe aren't there yet but they want to get there. I want to help people like teach themselves that, because all this stuff, like I don't think it's anything like super new. Like there's things we know about sports psychology, and we've known them for decades, in a very long time. So the things that I talk about and have learned about are the same things that sports psychologists in like the 80s were talking about too. You know, it's stuff like this stuff has been around for so long. I think it's just sometimes we need like maybe a different way to say it, but the content really is the same, you know. And I mean, we have learned some new things over time, and there's still obviously plenty of room for research. Like the sky's the limit with what we can learn. But when we're talking about basic principles like relaxation techniques, like how you just brought that up, and like breathing, imagery and visualization, I mean that stuff's been around, you know, for eons, like for years and years and years. And you know, ever since the first, I mean, I think philosopher like psychology, like they discovered that like thousands of years ago, and we're still using those things today. So I think it just goes to show like how tried and true a lot of that stuff is. And my point with saying all that is everyone can learn these things.
Yes.
It's this type of like, the things that we're talking about aren't just meant for like really already rich and successful famous people. It's for the everyday average person, you know, quote unquote, whatever. I mean, we all have the ability to become whatever you want. Yeah. And that's my long-winded answer to that.
You can be, in Latin, they say, you know, I don't remember actually who said that, homo faber fortunae sue. So that means that the man makes his own fortune.
Oh, okay. Yeah, make your own luck.
Yeah, you become what you want to be, or, you know, and so, you know, also with this sports psychology, that it's all so interesting and fascinating for me learning, because, you know, they give you some tools to learn then how to get to know yourself better, and how to make the best of yourself. But then, you know, you give me the tool, but then who better than me can do it, you know? Exactly. I know myself. Who better than me knows myself? Exactly. You know? So,
no one.
So that's a great thing, you know? You give me the tools, and then it's on me to start using the tools. Yeah. So that's a wonderful thing that I think is really fascinating, and I think that everybody can do, because, of course, you know, who doesn't want to get better or, you know, feel better? Yeah. And so...
Well, and that's actually an interesting question, because sometimes, like, even... Like, I get, you know, every once in a while you get athletes who, like, they want to get better, they just don't know how. They want to put the effort in, and they're motivated, like, they're self-motivated to learn. But it's funny, because you'd be surprised, like, how many athletes, like, think they want to get better, but if you don't if you don't take away, like, the lessons that, you know, your coach tells you, or your mental, you know, whoever, or, like, your parents even, if you don't listen to what they tell you and go and do it on your own, then of course you're like not going to make any changes. Like, so that's why I say, like I said this earlier, like you get in you get out what you put in. And I think that's kind of like the missing part, that sometimes, like, you know, the human element, we're all people. Sometimes we're tired, we're not motivated, we're just feeling a little lazy. And that, like, that plays into like how much you learn and how much you get out of it too. So, like, it's all fine when you say, like, oh yeah, who wouldn't want to get better? But, like, some people just don't. And that's okay. It's just, it's better if you know that about yourself, rather than going to all the effort thinking that you want to, but then actually not. And, like, thinking that you're not seeing the benefits because it's not working, when really it might just be if you're not putting in that like, doing the homework, or like putting in the effort. Like, that's the thing with my athletes. I always give, like, one kind of homework assignment, and maybe we'll start it, but I'll always tell them, like, okay, finish the rest of this, like, on your own at home, like, in your downtime, and then come back next week and we'll, you know, go over
Regroup.
that, regroup,
Yeah.
and like, you know, go over what you thought, you know, fill in the blank. But it's basically like, it's all great if you go to school and show up and take notes in class, but if you don't go home and do the homework, you're not going to retain anything, right? So same goes with like sports psychology and mental skills training. I don't know, I just thought that was important to like share.
And I feel also the most important thing is that first of all, you need to believe in it. You really need to want it.
And that's hard because I think the thing with sports psychology, I will say, I think a lot of people, when I tell people like what I do, they're like, oh, so you're a shrink, like you're a psychologist, you're gonna like shrink my mind, you're gonna diagnose me, you're gonna tell me that I'm crazy. That has nothing to do. That's not at all what I do. I'm not a licensed clinical psychologist. That's totally different than like what I do. So I just want to make that clear too, because
you don't tell anybody that you're crazy.
No, no.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not
just
capable.
helping. You're just helping people to perform at their best.
Exactly. That's literally like my life's purpose.
I like that.
That's my goal. So
let's say hi to some people.
Oh yeah. I see my friend Charlie join. So hi Charlie on Instagram.
Hi Instagram, hi Facebook, and I see Karen. You have Samantha, Simo. Hi everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for being here, you guys. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Any feedback, any comments you want to share, please do. How long have we been going? Have you been looking at the time? I haven't noticed.
No.
I really don't. Maybe about like 15 minutes. I think we probably started at 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can keep talking if you want. Maybe, I don't know, you were asking about like
I was
some
asking
of the
you because you have this I saw your stories on Instagram that you were saying that last night you had a group talk,
a group session
with your athletes. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I was just
what did you talk about?
Yeah, so I've been getting like so confused with all of my notes because I've like done different, like I've talked about the same topic on different things. So like in my group session last night, we talked about anxiety versus excitement versus fear. So just like taking apart like the definitions of what each of those things really are, because really at the end of the day, like anxiety, excitement, and fear all have the same physical response. But really it's all about like, how does your brain interpret that? So let me ask you, Sarah, okay, this is a good question. So when you think of roller coasters, what do you think? Like, do you like roller coasters or do you not?
Excitement and fear.
Both?
Yes.
Okay, so you feel
because
both.
it's excited. Like I want to go to a roller coaster. I feel excited. When I am on the roller coaster, I am so scared that it gives me excitement. Does it make any sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I guess like usually when I ask, like I talk to younger kids most of the time. So usually when I say like, do you like roller coasters or do you not? It's usually like either I love them or I hate them. And so, the point of asking that question is because just like you said, like you kind of feel both of those emotions.
Yes.
Because anxiety, fear, and excitement, they're all emotions, but physically, you get the same physical feeling when you're on a roller coaster and before you get on one and maybe even after you've done it. So like before you get on it, maybe you're sweaty, you're shaky, you're feeling a little like the butterflies, like just like before you compete, like same physical feelings, but how you interpret them emotionally, it can be different. So my main message last night with my group was, it's okay to have all three of those emotions and feelings. That's part of your sport. It's part of being a human being. And they're all good. They're meant to be like you have those emotions for a reason. Imagine if you didn't have any fear in your entire life, you'd probably be dead. Like you would cross the street without looking both ways. Yeah. Like, I mean, that's just a fact. Like we'd probably all be dead if we didn't have those innate intrinsic emotions. So, anyway, fear is a good thing to have when there's an actual threat in front of you, like a bear. If a bear is going to eat you, it's probably a good thing you're scared, because if you weren't, you would get eaten. Yeah. I don't know how else to like put it that like in a nice way, but like, so when it comes to like, okay, you're competing or you're going on a roller coaster, doing things that are not actual threats to you, like you're not actually going to die. Your life is not at stake. Yeah. Like, even though you have all those same physical feelings that come up, understanding and like rationalizing with your own brain and your own thought process knowing that you're gonna be okay and it's not an actual threat, it can kind of bring you a little bit more comfort and a little bit more relaxation before going into a situation like that. So the next time you like encounter like any one of those feelings, like just remember that, okay, it's good. That means I'm alive. It means I'm okay. These emotions are here for a reason. They're meant to keep me safe. They're meant to keep me, you know, not getting focused. Yes. Yeah, focus. Yes, absolutely.
Because like we were saying, you know, like for my show, for anybody's competition, if you are confident but you don't have a little bit of fear or a little bit of anxiety, you're too confident, you're not going to probably be as focused,
right?
You know,
you
when
can
you
get
say,
complacent. You can get complacent or almost lazy,
careless a little bit, you know.
Exactly.
And so then it's not, you know, as great.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah,
a little bit's fine.
You gotta have a little bit. Yeah, and you know,
spice up your immune system.
Yeah. Well, that makes it more fun too. Yeah. Like when you accomplish doing it well after all of that, that makes it just that much more satisfying.
Yes, that's true.
Because like it's like if you go into like that pickup volleyball game that you're not that excited about, or like it's like like it's like after it's all over, it's like, well, that doesn't feel as rewarding, right? Like it's like, oh, well, that was just a, you know,
I knew I was gonna do this.
Yeah, I knew I was gonna do well anyway.
Okay. Yeah,
you know, so you know, I don't know. It's all about perspective. It's all about your mindset around it. So I don't know. I thought that was something that we talked about last night specifically. And Charlie, I see you say you put adrenaline in the comments. Yes, that is adrenaline. The same physical response you get before you go on a roller coaster. Go to a competition, or like if you're confronted by a bear, or even like going to talk to like a cute boy, like it's all the same adrenaline.
Or even talking to somebody that you don't want to talk to, or like you want to fight with, you know, like
it's the same physical response. It's all, but all of those things are different in how we interpret them. Yeah, the different emotions that come with them. So, you know, I guess maybe one final like thing to say about that is like, are you going to choose whatever situation you encounter with any one of those emotions? Are you going to see it as a threat or like a challenge? And with a challenge, I hope you see it as something that you want to overcome challenges, right? You don't want to be I lost my train of thought, but like I'd much rather you see something as a challenge that you can overcome as opposed to like an actual threat that like you just have to survive and do the bare minimum. Yeah. Right. So that's like, I guess my very long answer to your question.
Nice.
But that's what we talked about last night. I don't know, is there anything else specifically that you wanted to talk about? I don't remember. I think we covered what else? I don't remember. Like, is there anything, I guess, that we haven't talked about in the past week that you wanted to share? Or nothing? See, nothing really has happened in my week. I think that is like a huge thing.
I was just this horse show and I was practicing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I guess it's been 2 weeks since we last went live, right? Because
because it was a Sunday. The Sunday,
It's been 2 weeks. Yeah. Or almost 2 weeks. Yeah. Okay. I thought it was maybe just one, but yeah.
And so I can tell you at the horse show, I mean, I told you that I've been practicing and, staying in the moment and everything. And then when I was going back to the hotel, I was just really trying to relax and think, oh, today was great. Mm-hmm. I did this improvement and, trying to see the positive thing of the day and not thinking, oh, that I could have done better, or that. Oh, yeah, okay. I know that I could have done this better, but I was just trying to highlight the good stuff. To feel good.
That's good.
And then I was doing yoga at night because I was really tight. Mm-hmm. Because it was really, really hot in Houston, and so I was just trying to stay hydrated. But whenever there's dehydration, then I got a cramp during the test. Yeah. I got a cramp on my hamstring. Ooh. It was from the beginning of the test till the end of the test. It was so painful. It was really painful. Mm-hmm. And so I also had to really do a lot of stretching and a lot of drinking electrolytes and protein, because it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah, definitely. But it sounds like you did a good job of keeping up with everything.
No, it was really positive. Overall, really positive show.
Good.
And then Monday I tried to really rest all day.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, I was resting and eating pretty much because I was really hungry, and so I tried to get some. I got, like you told me last time, the milk.
Chocolate milk.
Yeah. Because you told me it was really good
after recovery.
for recovery.
Yes.
So chocolate milk.
Yes.
And then, I had some good meals and a lot of rest.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, and I've actually dedicated an entire group session to that as well, like taking advantage of your rest and recovery days, because like
That's
I
really
don't
important.
think they teach you that enough in most sports, or at least, I mean, I don't know, at least like back when I did sports, I didn't learn much of that stuff until I went to college, which at that point it's like, well, this would have been nice to know like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
I know.
So, yeah, that's good that, you know, and it's never too late to learn that kind of stuff. I'm not, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to talk trash or anything, but
No, but it was great. I had a great day.
good.
Yeah, because I had to do a lot of stuff for the house also, you know, like stuff that you don't have time to do, you know, like grocery shopping and a lot of little things. But like, I was just like, no, today is my day. I need to rest.
Yeah.
And also especially because we came back from the horse show like at 2 a.m.
Oh,
or
on
something.
Sunday, or technically Monday
morning.
I guess.
So
Oh, gosh,
I really got a long day of rest.
Yeah. Good. That's good. Yeah, taking advantage of that's really super
And it's
important.
a lot of stretching, yoga, and that definitely helped a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's good to hear. I think my friend typed a question, so let me see what she said if you don't mind. Do you think it's easier to harness the emotions / hormones produced by the body, or try to suppress? That's a really good question. I think in terms of like what first comes to my mind, I don't know if this is like the right answer technically, but like I would think like if your body's doing something, it's doing it for a reason. So it's best to just like listen to it and like, you know, acknowledge it. Maybe don't let it like control you. Like I think, because I know with emotions, it's really easy to let like emotions dictate like when like our logical side of our brain. So, you know, of course, depending on the situation, I think it's better to just like acknowledge that your feelings are there, or like whatever hormonal emotional reaction is happening. At least that's what I try and tell my athletes, I think, for the most part. Now, like of course, when it comes to like really intense emotions like negativity or like anger or like sadness, you know, acknowledging them at first is probably better, but not letting them control you. I think that's probably my best response. But because when you try to suppress things and let them like bottle up and they happen over and over and over and over again, it's gonna wear you down, and eventually you're gonna have a huge outburst, whatever that means. Like it's gonna show up somewhere else. It's gonna be one random day. You're just gonna like snap one day. So that's why I say I think my first thing to do is like.
Sorry if I come in this talk, but I love these talks. But it's just because, just whenever you're hangry or you're stressed or nervous or mad or something, and you just try to suppress it, it makes me weak. I don't wanna think about this, or you don't wanna see it that you're getting mad or scared or whatever. You're just gonna keep it inside of you. You're gonna put it inside a drawer inside of you,
right?
And then if you want to just do something that distracts you, okay, let me just have a good meal, or have a glass of wine, or listen to music, or go with friends. You don't want to think about it, but then sooner or later it will come out again,
right?
And if you pile them up, they're gonna come out and there's gonna be an explosion.
Exactly.
So you want to acknowledge, you know, acknowledge, I am, like we were saying once, I am angry. It happens, sometimes also to me. I work all day outside and it's really hot outside, and maybe I'm getting close to lunchtime and I did not drink enough water, and so these are all things that your body's trying to tell you, hey, it's not, don't look at it, just
don't
acknowledge it,
your emotions,
and just say, okay, I didn't, okay, so I need to drink a little water, or maybe I need to cool off 1 second, or you need to take care a little bit more of yourself because your body's just trying to talk to you. And so embrace what's going on, acknowledge it, and don't just try to suppress it like you were saying, because it's not going to be good in long term.
Right. And I think maybe like one caveat I'd say to that, like if you're like in the heat of the moment and you can't address your feelings right then and there, maybe like you can temporarily distract yourself. I think there's healthy ways to do that, and you're just going to have to figure out what that means for you. But only if it's for like a short period of time. Like don't go, too long without acknowledging like whatever happened to you, or like whatever emotion you felt in that moment, because you have to address that at some point.
You
but
have
like
to.
Yeah, so like obviously I think be mindful with, you know, which way you decide to go, but if you're going to suppress it, don't do it for too long. Like just take that short amount of time, finish the task that you need to do, because that's also healthy too. I think like, you know, not just like, you can't always just pause your life. You can't always just put everything on hold, but sometimes like if it's something that's small and can be addressed a little later, then I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. So, you know, can go either way, but like usually try and address it earlier on rather than later, and then hopefully that'll help you along the way. That's a good question, so thanks Charlie for asking that. I really appreciate that. That's a really good question.
Do we have any other question now that we're live right now?
Let's see. I don't see anything on mine, but yeah, if you want to feel free to take a second to like type something in and send it our way, and we're more than happy to talk to you, and
we can respond to any question. I mean, anything, you know, like not only sport, but anything. You know, anything you want to know.
Anything about our new background. We're trying again something new today.
Something different.
Something a little bit different. Yeah, the cowhide tabletop. So we're still trying to play around with lighting and like where we have a setup, and you know things have been changing every week, I think, so we appreciate you guys.
We're just trying to do our best to make it as pleasant as possible, a nice talk between friends, you know, that we're trying to share with you all.
Yeah.
Thanks for the answer. I was asking in relation to the fear, anxiety, excitement.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So I guess related to that, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind, obviously, is like you need to address that. So like if it's before a competition, like, because I think the more you know about yourself, the earlier in advance you'll be able to pick up on when you're feeling any of those things, right? Like usually I would think if you typically feel anxious before a competition, you probably know that about yourself, or I would hope. You know, this is a good question to ask yourself, like, am I feeling anxious, or am I actually just like excited, like this isn't a bad negative feeling, or am I like genuinely fearful? And if you're genuinely fearful, maybe changing your perspective to realize, like, again, this isn't a real threat. You're not about to actually have your life at stake. You could mess up and fall on all 4 gymnastics events. Like, if I'm talking about gymnastics, obviously, that's the first thing that comes to mind. I try and tell my athletes all the time and get them to realize, like, look, you could have the worst meet of your life, and like your life is still going to be okay. It's not, you're going to go home. Your parents are going to still love you. You're still gonna, have a meal. They're not gonna deprive you of food. You're gonna have a place to sleep. They're not gonna kick you out of the house if you have the worst meet of your life. Seriously, like really think about that. So that's why I guess I say, like, don't be afraid of having any one of those emotions, but just also learn to realize, like, it's not like a competition is not a threat to you. It's not a threat to your safety, your well-being. Like, you're going to be okay. Even if you have the worst day of your life, then you're going to wake up tomorrow, and that means you survived the worst day of your life, and it's going to get even better.
And guess what? You have another chance to do better.
Yes.
That's the
always,
thing.
Always. No
Every day, whenever you wake up, that's another day and another chance to do good.
Absolutely.
And to improve and do better. And improve that 1% that we were saying. Little step, it will take you far. If you do one step every day going forward, you'll go far.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I really love that piece of advice. And I owe that to Justin Sua. He is like, if you want to follow one person, he is excellent, and he's all over the place. Like, that's where I learned that from. So I take no credit for that. Like, he's a genius. I love his stuff. He's really great. So I hope that answers your question, Charlie, like with that specific context there. But anything else, you guys? We've been here for a good 30 minutes, so I don't know. I feel satisfied with what we talked about. I don't know about you.
Me too.
Feel okay? Feel good?
Yeah, good. Feel good.
Yeah, so any last final thoughts?
And you still can, send us some questions or whatever, you want to know. If you want to know something more, or whenever we're going to do our next live, we're going to write it down and we're going to answer to your questions.
Yeah.
Because like the live on Instagram is going to last 24 hours, but the live on Facebook is going to stay on.
Right.
So if you guys are looking this in the next days, you can definitely, write down some comments or feedbacks, or, if you have any question, if you would like to know anything about us or about, what we do, or
This will actually be on YouTube too. So I mean, so people can always go back to the YouTube video as well. I'll make sure to send you the link, so it'll be broadcast everywhere. We'll share it as many places as we can. So yeah, even if you're watching this in the future, like send us some feedback in the comments, or follow us on our social media and message us there. Whatever you guys want to do.
Let's do some. So your social media is
yes. My Instagram is Mental Coach Briley. So I'm on my Instagram right now. And my Twitter is Mental Coach Bry. And what
Facebook?
else? Oh, Facebook, fb.me/Mental Coach Briley. So just search that up. And my picture is the same, like, across the board. So, yeah, once you see me in one place, my picture's the same everywhere else, I think. And I'm on YouTube, just Briley Casanova. You should be able to find me.
All right.
Yeah. And what about you? You're on Instagram, too.
Mine is Sara Sasso Tooling Dressage on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And then Facebook, I have an athlete page that is Sara Toolin. And my private page is where I'm putting the live right now is Sara Sasso Tooling. Great. And then if you want to go check out my website is www.sarasassotooling.com.
Okay, yeah, and everything will be linked below when I post this on YouTube as well. So in case that was went too fast for you, everything will be linked below, no problem. Just follow the links and you'll be able to keep in touch with us.
Yes, and thank you so much for listening to us. Thank you for your support. Grazie a tutti. I'm glad that everything is getting a little bit back to normal after this quarantine, and everybody's getting back working and going out a little bit, and so
at least where we are, everything's kind of opening back up, and so that's been
in Italy positive. People are going to the beach. I'm a little bit how do you say, jealous?
Jealous. Okay, jealous.
Jealous.
Hey, me too then, because we don't have really. I mean, we have beaches in Texas, but we're not close to them. So.
But in my hometown, it's that's our summer.
That's what you do.
And so I miss it a lot. So you guys, please go swim at Porto Novo, also for me. Fate un bagno a Porto Novo anche per me. Grazie per averci guardate. Sì?
Yeah.
E alla prossima, scriveteci se avete bisogno insomma, se avete domande o se avete commenti, per favore, siamo felici di avere vostri consigli o vostre domande, per cui fateci sapere. Un abbraccio a tutti, thank you so much, and I'll see you next week.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you again soon.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.